What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you today with the Before You Summon video. Now, there is a really important factor you must listen to in this before you make your final decision as to whether you will or will not summon. But I'll get to that in a moment. First, let's talk about the Labyrinth City Collection. This is, of course, the units that we voted on last year during the anniversary. We're finally, a year later, getting the Ais unit. I still don't think we got the Bell unit. Somebody might correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we did not get the Bell unit. But either way, this Ais is a wind resist down 20%, allies critical rate and penetration rate plus 10%. Now, this is really good for a wind team. My only real honest criticism, well, I got two pieces of criticism here. So 2 pieces of legitimate, honest to goodness, real criticism about this unit. And I talked about this yesterday. At this stage of the game, I really expect a unit that I'm going to summon on, that I'm going to, put a lot of free-to-play Iris into, to have double the resistance. In other words, it's going to be wind resist and then like earth or water or something. We're going to have like multiple types of resistance if we're going to have resistance at all. That's my take on it. I know she's time limited. It would, I guess, be worthwhile collecting at least one for collection purposes. I just don't know how crazy I am about this unit, to be honest with you. She's going to be really good for those people that are building wind teams. And that does kind of tell me wind might be a factor coming up here shortly. But I've got some really good wind assists. And the other thing to consider is while she is predominantly a physical unit, and she's got a great dex stat, her physical stat is pretty low. And we do have wind resist units that are 15% that, first of all, do double resistance for double duty on a team. Number 2, have much better physical and or magic stats. So for me, I personally am going to pass on this. I'm going to get 1, and if I need her later, then I can throw star bonds on her. But I really, personally, I think this is an easy pass. That's just my opinion. Let me know if you differentiate in the comments section, but that's me. Now we're going to get into the good stuff. Okay, Orario Academia Class 3. Remember we had Class 2 a while back, and I talked to you about how much Iris you could acquire just by summoning for one of each of these units. Now, I'll get down to that after we talk about this, so stay put for just a moment. We're going to talk about each one of these units and kind of give a brief overview of them. So here we go. These units are time limited, so if you miss out now, it is worth noting you might not get another opportunity. The last time these units were around was in 2017, before there was even a US version, North American version of this game. So realistically, if you want them, it is worth summoning right now. And it is worth noting, these units, like the units prior, should be fresh CP levels. In other words, Anya here isn't going to use the Anya CP levels in that we already have. She's going to use Anya like Kid or something like that. So that means that is fresh CP items that you could farm, and that is fresh Iris. Now, get to what that means here at the end of the video, but let's talk about her stats. HP is 3780, that's pretty respectable. Physical attack is 1956, that's actually pretty good. Not end of the world stuff, but good. Agility is really nice at 1006. That's actually really good. Dex is respectable, endurance is pretty good. Let's look at what she does, because we actually have the official honest to goodness translations, not just the weird Japanese translations now. Skill 1, fast. Mid-earth physical attack with heal minus 35% for 3 turns and self-strength plus 80% for 3 turns. Okay. Skill 2 is a super earth physical attack. Counter rate down 30% for 3 turns. Self avoid KO once when HP is 20%. Now, I talked about this yesterday, and I forgot that the skill gets better the lower you get. So we have a lot of units that do this for 10%, 20%. As much as I hyped it yesterday, my brain was thinking the bigger number's better. Bigger number's actually worse. This means that anytime your health drops below 20%, that skill is going to be removed. Now, I do like that the counter rate is reduced. I like that a lot for Wargame. I do like that heal is reduced. That is going to help you out if you're, having a problem with stall teams. I had a huge problem with stall teams last time. That setup's just still not enamored by this unit. Skill 3 is a foe singular high earth attack with temporary strength boost and ultra penetration rate. And then SA is ultra earth physical attack with temporary strength boost and ultra penetration rate. Realistically, if you're going to go after this unit, you're going to use this unit for the debuffs and Wargame. That's literally it. And this unit actually is pretty good for that. So if you really want to go after one of these units, I think this is a good unit for Wargame to kind of break up some of the monotony of those stall teams. So since stall teams are kind of a thing again, people seem to have suddenly rediscovered Winter Haruhi. Man, I know a lot of people knew about her, but I think with her coming back in these recent banners, I've seen her a lot more in Wargame than I have in the past year. So this might be a good unit to nullify that, but at the end of the day, I really just I don't care enough to really want to summon on this unit. So for me, I think this is a pass. Now, I will get one. I'll get one for the CP levels. That's my input. Get one of each of these units if you can help it for the CP levels. And once again, I'll talk about how much Irish you can accrue at the end of the video, so stay put for that. Okay? Chloe. HP is 3,600. That's really not great. Physical attack is 1427. Once again, not great. Magic attack is 1138. Once again, not great. But her defense is pretty good. 624 is a really good stat. Dex is really good. Agility is atrocious. But it's really not what she's about. Okay. Skill 1 is a mid-earth physical attack with ultra encounter rate and foes. Poison resist down 75%. So if you're someone that is using poison resistance anklets or something like that in or poison resistance buffs or something like that in Wargame, this will reduce that down 75%, which means she's going to come in skill 2, super earth physical attack, 50% chance of max HP, 30% damage, poison. So if you're looking to build an ailment team, she's going to be really good for that. The only downside is she's really not going to work the best until turn 2, but you can still do some damage there. What I really like is skill 3, higher earth physical attack damage plus 80% against poison target units. Null physical attack times 2 except special arts. So in other words, if you get to turn 3 and you do skill 3, if your foe is poisoned, she's going to hit them really hard and nullify 2 physical attacks on herself. So she's like a survivor. It's pretty substantial. I really do think that Chloe is probably an outstanding unit for ailment teams. If you plan to build an ailment team, you definitely want her. But that's the only time she's ever going to be utilized this Wargame if you're building an ailment team. 99% of the people watching this are not going to care. So once again, get one for the collection purposes and skip. Hephaestus. HP 728, not great. MP is 225, that's respectable. Physical attack is 209, and magic attack is actually pretty good at 590. So she'll be really, really, really good for a magic team. That said, poison resist and sleep resist with physical resist plus 15%. Pass. Hardest pass in the entire game. It is not ever worth getting an assist that does this kind of stuff. You generally, any kind of ailment resistance like this, you can do with an anklet, or you can just do general ailment resistances. I do not, in my heart of hearts, believe it's worthwhile speccing into this. Personally. Now, maybe if poison and sleep do become that big of an issue, sure, but I don't personally think so at all. I think this, for me, once again, get one for the CP levels and just walk away with my head held high. That's going to be the best recommendation that I can make. Class 4. All right? Let's get into this. Lili. 3635 for HP. MP is 350. Physical attack is nothing. Magic attack is 1828. That's actually pretty okay. Not end of the world stuff, but it's respectable. HP really leaves a bit to be desired. I do adore her weapon, though. The weapon actually kills me. It's like a toy ballista. I just love that. I think it's hilarious. Defense 593, not terrible, not great. Dex is really good and agility is really good, though. Now, once again, though, let's talk about her skills. Foes, plural, fast, mid-dark magic attack with ultra on guard rate, dark resist minus 30% for 3 turns and self-dark attack damage plus 80%. So she's going to buff her dark damage pretty respectively. Skill 2 is a high dark magic attack damage plus 50% against sealed targets. That is not 50% magic. That is just going to add 50% more damage to sealed targets, which means she needs a magic buff. Now, she does get it with her essay, but, well, we'll talk about that here in a second. Okay, she does do a 15% chance to sleep, but 15% chance is atrocious in this day and age. That is not a good ailment. Skill 3, super dark magic attack with ultra critical rate and 15% chance to seal. I do like the fact she does double ailment, but if this was like 30%, that would change my mind on her completely. But the fact that she doesn't have a magic buff, the fact that she like really is built as an ailment unit, but only does 15% of either one. No, neither skill's really good. Now, she does do her SA Ultra Dark Magic Attack with Temporary Magic Boost, Allies Magic plus 50% for 1 turn. But, once again, you got to replicate that, and I'm just not a big fan of this unit. Once again, get 1 for the CP levels and walk away with your head held high. Welf! HP. Look at that HP. Is that I think that's the highest HP we have in the game. His HP is ridiculous. I always say 4,000 is like the really nice spot for HP. 4,422. That is outstanding HP. That said, the physical attack really begins to, like, you know, look atrocious. 1567 is bad. The defense is crazy, though. 940. I think this is the highest HP and defense currently in the game. I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe so. Dex is really good. Agility is atrocious. Let's get into it here. Okay. Skill 1. High water physical attack with ultra encounter rate, critical rate, indexed to HP. In other words, the amount of damage you're going to do is indexed. The more health he has, the higher this hit is going to be. That's why he's got such good defense and such high health. Dude's a tank, pretty much. But that is a single target attack. High water physical attack with temporary strength boost, 50% chance to taunt, which I like, and that is a foes plural. I think yesterday I said that was a foes singular. That is a foes plural. Taunt must be foes plural. Self-physical resist and magic resist plus 50%. So this dude's literally just a tank. That's it. If you want a unit that's going to be really good for taunting, this unit is spectacular. I have to go look at the other taunt units that we have in the game, but he is going to tank and taunt like crazy. Now, he's not going to hit fairly well, but he is going to tank and taunt pretty well. Skill 3 is a foe singular, high water physical attack. HP heal 20% of damage, self, reflex, magic times 1. So in other words, he's gonna nullify 1 magic attack on himself after doing skill 3. I really like this skill, but I love the fact that that taunt skill is fantastic, and 50% is really good. That literally means when you inflict that on the opponent team, and I'm looking at war games because whenever we look at ailments, we always look at war game. Basically, every unit on the game, all 4 units flip a coin, heads are taunted, tails are not. It's that simple. It's that simple. Obviously, I don't literally do it in the game, but it's a 50-50 chance. So I really like that. That's a great ailment. He's got a lot of defenses, a lot of HP. This unit is actually really good. Now, that said, this is a definite stall tactic, but I think, honestly, we're going to wind up seeing a bit of him in Wargame. I really kind of feel that way. SA is an ultra water physical attack, 30% chance to stun, and water resist down 40%. I actually like this unit, and I don't know if I'm going to go to max amount. I really want to save some Iris, but let's talk about Hestia, and then we'll talk about the final result here, okay? Hestia, HP is 958. That's really good. Physical attack and magic attack are both 295. That is atrocious. Her agility is very, very good at 555. She does foes magic resist and dex down 15% and 45% stun. So if you are looking to build an ailment team, great assist for an ailment team. There are still better out there, but another opportunity to stun is not a bad thing. Plus, it reduces the dexterity of your opponents, which means they're going to counter a lot less. So, let's talk about this. Okay? Now, I would say the only two units here that are even worthwhile are Welf. I think I called him Bet. Welf and Hestia. Did I call him Bet? I think I did. Welf. It's even right there. Welf and Hestia. Welf and Hestia are actually two units on here that are pretty respectable, pretty useful. I think everyone else is kind of pretty bad. But let's remember, this is only for Wargame. So if you're not a Wargame main and you don't want to do the taunt tactic like this, because remember, like, what he's going to do is he's basically going to taunt. And when you do a taunt, that means everybody is going to do single target attacks and target only Welf. So he's basically got to be able. That's why his dexterity, his defense is so high, his endurance is so high, same stat, and his HP is so high. That's so he could take a ton of hits and just laugh them off. It's been a long time since I've seen people use a lot of taunt in Wargame, so I think this is going to bring taunt back. It's a great ailment. It's very useful. And then adding a little bit of stun to that is going to be really respectable. I like these two units personally, and I need to work on my Wargame team. So don't be surprised if I start coming out of the gate with an ailment team, because that's a thing. Now, let's talk about Iris real quickly. All right? So, as you know, these units are all going to be fresh CP levels. Hestia is going to be like Hestia Girl, blah, 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 blah. So everybody here is going to be fresh CP that we've never had before. Don't think we have Hestia Girl in here. Do we? Did we get her? Maybe we got her, actually. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to have to double check in the game. But neither here nor there. Let me pull up the game real quick and double check that. But neither here nor there. Basically, what we're looking at here is the equivalent. So I'm going to go ahead and go off of what the shop sells, because I'm going to say most people are only going to be utilizing the amount of Iris they're going to get from the shops. So, or say Iris, the amount of CP items they're going to be getting from the shops. You'll see what I talk about Iris here in a moment. Okay. So in the shops, at the start of every month, you have 99 single flowers, 99 bouquets, 99 books of knowledge, 99 books of nobility, 99 dungeon sandwiches, 99 dungeon cakes. Now, I'm not accounting for anything that comes in the tail gotcha, anything you accrue along the way, anything you get through dispatch quests. That's all gravy. That's all just completely on top of this. If you have enough, basically Serios, and remember, we just got a ton of tickets. Like, I'm sitting on, how many tickets do I have right now? I have well over 100 tickets right now in the game. So, if you are sitting on that many 3-star tickets, you're likely to have enough CP to max out the shops if you have not touched the shops at all. So, if we take those exact stats, and that's the number, so I'm going to go with 99 single flowers, 99 bouquets, basically 99 of all 3 objects, both big and small, that comes out to be roughly what? That's... I mean, its average is about 300 CP per item, but let's go and break this down. So, with the dungeon sandwich, Anya, Welf, and Chloe are each going to utilize dungeon sandwich, or if they go by the same units in the game, they will. So, Anya, Welf, and Chloe, if they are utilizing the dungeon sandwich, yeah, no, it does not look like we have Hestia Girl in here. Let's just double check real quick before I get too crazy. There's Hestia. Ooh, let's check assists. Just so I'm not going crazy here. She's the only one I think we might... Yeah, we do have Hestia Girl, so you can kind of take her out of the mix. She is not fresh CP. We already have one of those. So it's actually kind of good. So I'll explain why here in a moment. So Anya, Welf, and Chloe each use Dungeon Sandwich. All right. So max CP level you can acquire in each using 100 Dungeon Sandwiches and 99 Dungeon Sandwiches, 99 Dungeon Cakes. Remember, you've got the Bell, the Leafia, and the Ais CP lists. So you really have 3 CP lists to satisfy. So you're going to be able to use 33 of each item in each CP. That means that Anya, Welf, and Chloe can each get to the max CP level 16 on all 3 events. That's 40 Iris on all 3 of those events for a total Iris of 120 on each unit. So that's 360 Iris right there just on those 3 units alone. Okay? Now, let's take, for instance, Lili. Lili is going to use the single flower and the big bouquet. She can get up to, and Hephaistios the same way. Hephaistios is going to use books of knowledge. Okay? Now, these units are going to utilize a unique item each. So that means they can actually get up to max level CP24. And CP24 will give you 80 Iris per CP level. 80 Iris. And this is not including, like, getting bonds and maxing these out and the Iris that you get for taking them up to level 60. I haven't even included that. This is just CP levels alone. That's it. End of story. Okay? So 240, that means there's 480 CP Iris available between Lili and Hephaistios alone. So if you're really mathing this out, you can, after a whole bunch of rigmarole, let's go ahead and do some quick maths here. I'm gonna just, there we go. That comes out to be 840. 840 total Iris. Almost not really. After you get everybody to level 60, I'm gonna say only level 60. You're gonna have over 900 Iris acquired free to play just for summoning. So I am gonna say if you do go into each banner and you get lucky and you get all 3 in the first 2 summons, you're talking a 1200 cost. You'll be able to recoup 900 of that over time. Remember, you're going to have the gachas and you're going to have various other things. You will be able to recoup that, especially if you pull dupes. But again, that is like a super lucky scenario. So you can earn back 900 Iris very easily, potentially a lot more. Like, let's remember, we've got the event gacha from this tail and the, I believe the incoming tail doesn't have it. It's a rerun, so it doesn't have a gacha, actually. The new tail does not have a gacha, so I need to scratch that. But the current tail does have a gacha, and you will be able to continue farming that. It goes away here in about 2 weeks, so you have plenty of time. Personally, I think it's worth getting one of each if you spend less than, let's say, 1,500 Iris. That's a low number, I know, but if you can get to that state, I think you'll be in good shape. Personally, but like I said, 840 is the number you get just from CP levels alone, and then you're going to get, what? I forget how much per unit, but minimum to get them up to level 60, I believe you get, what, 20 or 30? 30 Iris to get to level 60, I believe. I'd have to double check that. And the other thing that I forgot to mention here, and I completely didn't even have this in the equation, for every 5 units that you upgrade CP levels, you actually do get some guild rewards too. So you could easily recoup your Iris very quickly. I'm going to go after all of these units, and I'm actually do a video on how much Iris we recouped on it. And we're going to talk about that very specifically. So hopefully tonight on the stream, we'll be doing some summons on these units. We'll be recouping that. And yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Now, will you recoup everything you spent? If you spend over 2,000, probably not. But if you keep it at like that 1,500 and you get really lucky, for me, like, I'm probably going to wait until payday and maybe do like some, I can't call them what we normally call them because that's wrong. But if you hit their paid banners, you'll probably be pretty good. But that's me. Like, I can justify the 20, 40 bucks, whatever it costs to get the units that I didn't acquire, and then reacquire the CP. It's weird, but I'm that type of shamu. Either way, guys, that's the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Like I said, 840 is a lowball number. I think realistically 12 to 1500 is very, very likely if you're diligent and if you farm. Probably even way more than that, honestly. But that's the video, guys. Like, comment, share. I'll be back with more Danmachi here really soon. If I can find the... There we go. If I can find the end button.